Good afternoon, ma'am, and good afternoon to all our viewers of this podcast. This is officially the third podcast of GDSA and the first offline podcast. And our guest is like our very own principal, Dr. Vaishali Patil. And welcome to the third podcast of GDSC. Could you like introduce yourself looking at the camera for like short introduction?
Okay. Hello everybody. As introduced by Shivanjali, I am the principal of International Institute of Information Technology, I2IT, Hinjawdi, Pune. And I am happy to be on this podcast as it is my students who are hosting this event. Thank you.
After ma'am's introduction, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Shivanjali from third year, IT department, and I'm here as the host of this podcast. And without further introductions and everything, let's start with the podcast. So the first question, a bit cliche, let's go back to the start. So ever since your childhood, ma'am, since your childhood till today, what has been the best moment or like the most significant phase of your life? Like ye phase tha which I enjoyed the most of my life. What is that phase of your life?
Yeah. That question is very close to my heart, obviously.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, the phase which I spent in the campus of IIT Bombay was the most significant phase of my life. Though there were a lot of challenges, I had to stay away from my family and there were a lot of sacrifices involved, but that was the span when I used to be in the labs. I would forget everything and I enjoyed each and every moment there while I was in the labs.
Wow,
with one goal in front of me.
That's a nice answer. Isn't this every student's story? Okay, moving on to the next question. Could you tell us about your educational journey from a student's desk to a principal cabin of this prestigious institute?
Yeah. So first of all, let me acknowledge, because I feel that I am one of the fortunate person who has got the opportunity to be educated with due respect to the opportunities given by my parents for the sake, because there are a lot of people around us we see that deprived of even the basic education. So first of all, let me be humble for that. Of course, I was a very sincere student throughout my phases, may it be the school, may it be the college, or even the student phase as a research scholar at IIT Bombay. And I think that is how the journey went on, with a lot of appreciation from the teachers. I was very happy when the teachers used to appreciate. But that was not true when the phase was as a research scholar, because the appreciation there was very, very rare occasion, as the expectations were very different. But yeah, I have been a sincere and obedient student all the while, and yes, that's how I was topper at some phases and all that.
Since ma'am has mentioned that she was a sincere student, it makes me want to ask ma'am that, ma'am, have you ever been punished by your teachers for, may it be the silliest reasons, but have you been punished?
Yes, in school I remember it was because my shoes were not neatly polished. I had to keep aside the shoes in one corner and go around whole day without shoes.
Oh, that's a strict punishment. We don't do that nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is why I recall it at every phase, because that was the only punishment, and that was again for a silly reason.
Yeah, they say punishments make you learn more about things. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next question. Now, ma'am, every IT person or every person who works has to maintain a personal and a professional life. So balancing personal and professional life can be challenging, especially for someone who is as busy as yourself. So how do you manage this balance? And like, do you have any personal interest that after college you go home and like you specifically love doing this thing and you specifically invest time in your personal interests, which makes you feel, let's say, at peace, or like which makes you feel satisfied or content about yourself? We would like to know about that.
So as long as the professional career is concerned, so may it be a male or a female person. I don't think there should be any difference at all, because anybody can do justice to the role in their professional workplace to the best possible level only if they have good support and understanding from their family members and the close ones. So that is required for each and every person to have a smooth professional career. Yeah, in that aspect it may be slightly more difficult for the women, but not a big challenge as such, because the scenarios are that now the families are very understanding, and as long as the interests are concerned, I would actually love to go for gardening, but these days I am not getting time for that. Few years back I enjoyed that, gardening with a small garden in my home at my hometown.
That's a very cute interest, ma'am. So let's take a break from all the serious questions. Let's keep them aside for a moment. So everyone here has a favorite book or a favorite movie or like a favorite anything which you can suggest children. So ma'am, what is your go-to book or a movie that you would recommend to any of the students or any of like your close friends?
Yeah, so amongst the book I would like to recommend Shivacharitra, written by Babasaheb Purandare. I think that is the role model to many of us, and not because of the only hero person based upon whose life it is, but the way things were looked upon during that tenure is what we can take a message from. And as long as the movie is concerned, I enjoyed one old movie, Pushpak.
Oh,
I mean, there is no dialogue in that movie.
okay, interesting.
Yeah,
So-
but that's what made it very interesting.
That's
It's
a unique interest.
yeah, the character prime role is played by Kamal Hassan. I think the heroine, I don't know who was the actress, but yeah.
So I've neither read the book nor have I seen the movie, and I think I'll go home and I'll do that first today because now I'm interested into the Pushpak movie. So fine, that's a very nice suggestion, ma'am. Hope our viewers will see that. Moving on to the next question. So let's talk about challenges. Now this podcast may be all about you, but I would like to tell this one incident about myself and one of my shortcomings that I would like to overcome in life. So I have this very bad habit of procrastination, like every student out there. So for example, I had been given this set of questions, like the wrong set of questions, like that one, a week ago for me to prepare for this podcast. And me being this procrastinating kid, I started preparing yesterday and I prepared this set of questions today morning, and here I am now prepared. So this is a bad habit. I should have done it a week ago or probably when I got the set of questions. So I do procrastinate things, and that's something, one of my shortcomings that I have to overcome. So ma'am, what is one of your shortcomings as a kid that you had and you knew that this is my shortcoming, I have to overcome this, otherwise I'll get nowhere in life? So you, as eventually you grew up and then you overcame that shortcoming. So we would like to know about that shortcoming and how did you overcome it?
I don't know whether we should call it as a shortcoming or no, but though I say that I was a sincere student, but as far as my parents keep on reminding me and mentioning at various occasions that during the school phase, roughly around 8th class or so, I didn't study much. Though I was sincere, I didn't study much. Not that I did anything wrong, but then while I entered into 8th class, I think I invested more time, and yeah, that is one thing. And that of course eventually helped me grow in confidence.
So
The efforts put in, I can say.
Okay. So you got kind of distracted in 8th standard by the rest of things, not wrong things, but the rest of the things.
No,
like,
it was not distraction, but the time spent on the study activity was to a lower extent.
Achha, okay. So then that was something you overcame as you.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to the next question. So, ma'am, now the childhood questions and everything is over. So, let's move on to a career point of view questions. So, was there a point in your career where your hard work paid off? Like, there was this one achievement that you always wanted in your life, and you really worked hard to achieve that one day. And then you achieved it, and then you look at the achievement and you be like, yeah, I wanted this in life, I worked hard, and this is what I've achieved. So, you're very proud of that moment, of that achievement. So, what is this one achievement or this one moment that you remember that you were very proud of yourself?
So I align with your question itself, that is hard work always pays. And I am a very strong advocator of this concept, that whatever efforts you put in, it is the investment you are making, and that always pays you back. So yeah, throughout my journey there are a lot of experiences where hard work has always paid. So I am one example of that strong belief, and hence I strongly advocate that. And coming to one of those achievements, it was that day when I defended my PhD thesis, and yeah, and the result, of course, my thesis was awarded the best thesis award.
Wow.
So both, of course, that defense and I could answer the questions of those examiners was a proud feeling, and then very soon the best thesis award also came, so that added to my happiness.
Wow. I've been in this college since 3 years and I never knew our ma'am this well. I'm so glad for this opportunity now that I get to interact and I get to know so much about ma'am. You're really impressive. I would like to have this quality in me. Okay, moving on to the next question. Yeah, often students of our college or any student ever, they get a chance to express their expectations, their opinions toward the college, toward the faculty, towards the principal. They get to express it, but rarely does a principal get a chance to express it. So like the other side, like your side, you rarely get to express your expectations or your opinions towards the students or towards the college. So consider this as a chance, and please express your expectations and like opinions towards the students.
Okay, so I would like to divide my expectations into three
There are a
levels.
lot of expectations, guys.
Yes, into three levels. First of all, I would want our students, my students, to be good human beings.
Priority.
For that, yes, that is the first priority. For that, they should be honest, they should be diligent, and they should have that social responsibility. So in their very day-to-day activities also, they should exhibit at least these three qualities, which I feel are very important for them to be good human beings. You may not always be able to show sympathy and all, but at least if you have that social responsibility, I think you are doing some contribution.
Okay.
The second expectation, what I want my students is to understand that they can do beyond their default capabilities.
That is a very good point.
Sometimes this understanding is not there in all of them. So first they should understand that they can do beyond their default capabilities, and for that they don't have to put in very significant efforts. They just have to be, what we can say, consistent in what they are doing. They should pursue something which they take up. Then they can surely do beyond what their default abilities they have. This will help them to make things more better and achieve success in whatever category it may be. And then now coming to the third level, yeah, for the students to be good in their professional career, they should obviously acquire good technical skills, for which they have to learn time management, because the time constraints are always there, and to excel they should first learn that. and for that they should be obviously putting in some extra efforts in developing those skills. Whatever technical skills they acquire, they should be able to present in the most effective manner, so they should acquire the communication skills as well. So to be successful as professionals, they should have these 2-3 minimum qualities they should start acquiring, for which they should take additional pain.
I really liked how ma'am categorized the answer into like 3 parts. First was self-development, second was your own capability, pushing your own capability, and third was professionalism. So it was a very well framed answer, ma'am. Thank you. I really hope the viewers are getting some insights and they are like getting to learn through this. You guys are not just going to skip this part, okay? Okay, moving on to the next question. Okay, so let's move on to a descriptive question, more like something about the college, because okay, could you provide some insights into the college's most notable achievements during your tenure? So one of the achievements, like not one of the like achievements that you're very proud of during your tenure as the principal.
Okay, so basically achievement of any institute is the achievement of its students and alumni. So there are many such achievements which I can just keep on listing. It could be the team winning the Smart India Hackathon, the team getting the funding from Smart India Hackathon, the student who have turned entrepreneur getting funding from TIE, a very well recognized supporting organization. The achievements of the students on the various professional society performances like IEEE and ACM and GDSC. This could be n number of such achievements in some competitions and all. So it may be technical, non-technical. Some of our students presenting some topic very excellent manner in some debate competition and so on. So achievements of every student is the achievement of the institute, and to be very proud of is the achievements of our students when they are placed at very good positions in defense. So there are few students, if I name it would not be right because there are many more. There are students who have gone for higher studies in very well reputed institutes, not only for masters but even gone ahead for pursuing their PhD and research. So these all are the achievements of the institute, is what I will be proud of. If you consider now the administrative aspect of it, in terms of the achievements, yes, the institute has undergone accreditation through NAC. Institute has undergone accreditation through NBA. These were 2 notable accreditation teams which we faced. And yeah, we have also grown in terms of intake from 180 to 360. Yeah. Just to mention about the administrative aspects, but yeah, the institute is always recognized by its students and alumni. So that will always remain at the top.
The list was so long and it does not end here. So there are a lot of notable achievements of this college, and ma'am has done a good job explaining the top one of them. So okay, let's come back to your background, okay? Academic background. So your academic background is very impressive, man. You have done your PhD from IIT Bombay. So are there any key principles or approaches from your academic journey there that you find valuable and believe that could be implemented in our college also? So like some values you have seen there, some approaches you saw there that you really liked and you want to implement in our college. And additionally, are there any initiative or procedures that you have already implemented in our college which you have learned throughout your academic journey? We would like to know about both of them.
So basically, let us not restrict to only the IITs or some such premium institutes. We can always have learning from any other organization who are doing something good than our institute, and that's what we always try to capture. And for anything to achieve the final goal, we have to be persistent, and I think these premium institutes basically do that. The dedication with which the students work there, with that passion and that pursuance which they show is extremely impressive. And yeah, that's what we should be also doing it, not for one particular goal, but maintaining that consistency. The research activities, of course, are they are meant for that type of tasks. So there are research scholars and all, but yeah, we have been trying to adopt what we call it as UG research. So some such learnings we try to adopt in our institute as well. Yes.
Okay. Now the next question is my personal favorite question. I really wanted to ask this, so I added it. I'd like to hear your perspective, ma'am, on the corporate world versus the academia world. So, what led you to choose the academia over the corporate world? Like you had an option of the corporate
Yes.
world.
So 30 years back, corporate world was not so aggressive, actually speaking, as it is today. Whereas neither academics was also that aggressive as it is today. So things have changed a lot. It was the opportunity given by my professor, and I took it up to start with my academic career. And then for that, of course, I left the corporate job and came in just because of the respect and the trust shown by that faculty in me and was offering me that opportunity. I really didn't analyze that I was moving from a corporate world to academic, and because it was hardly a 6 months corporate experience. But yes, there is no reason to actually bifurcate corporate and academics. What corporates are expected to do, they are doing. What academics is expected to, they are doing. Whatever changes had to happen in their respective tracks, they have happened to cope up with the changing scenarios of the nation and globe as a whole. So actually speaking, both are obviously supposed to complement each other, and they should continue to do that. So
one notable point that ma'am pointed out was respect, which really is it pinpointed me. I do realize the respect point is different in the corporate versus academia. Ma'am, what do you think? What would be different if you would have continued working in the corporate instead of coming here? Would you have been this happy, or would you have been this satisfied?
maybe I would have been happy as well as satisfied, but as I just said, it was just not even a 1 year's time that I worked in a industry and then moved to academics. So may not be possible to comment much on that, but basically this 30 years of journey I have enjoyed to the fullest, and I am thoroughly satisfied.
That is so sweet. That is
Yeah.
so sweet. This makes me want to ask a off-script question. So I would like to ask this: that did you always, how did the gates to becoming a principal of such a prestigious institution open to you? Like no one dreams of like one day, not dreams. They can dream, of course, but no one really thinks that one day I'll become such a big personality in such a big institution. So how did the gates open for you? How did you go through the process, and how did you end up here? To be specific.
Before taking up the responsibility as a principal, I was the head of the department, and head of the department opportunity I got at very early stage while I had just 3 years of experience, and that continued with me. So that administrative responsibility related nurturing had happened through that opportunity, I can say. And then that aspiration obviously went to the level of becoming some head of some institute, and I was
That is a very nice
judged
example
by the evaluator, the committee members, and chosen from the team of participants there.
That is an example of keep your head high and dream for like bigger things and bigger positions. So as you said, you had like a very less experience. Within 3 years, you shifted to this position, this huge responsibility and a huge position, then HOD. So if it is not confidential, I would like to ask. Could you share how you helped maintain positive relations among the faculty? So, with the big position comes big leadership responsibility, and along with that, you should have this leadership aura and this aura, which where you would like the people to listen to you. So, how did you maintain this positivity and positive relations among the faculty?
So I assume that always I have been making an attempt to find out what are the good capabilities and good side of any individual whom I come across. And I think that is my basic nature from very early stage. When I just analyze at some occasions which has surfaced, and that is what I think helps to handle this responsible position.
Yeah, we've been
Because
taught.
nobody can be ideal. So every person will have some good qualities, some bad qualities, but it's always in the interest of everybody that we pick up the good things from every individual, and I think that helps me to
Nice.
handle this position.
That's impressive again. So, we've been taught since we were kids that leadership qualities are something that are there, or either you develop it. So, I guess, ma'am, you're doing a good job at it. There's this one more question related to the same topic. If there is a disagreement between, like, there's an idea proposed and there's a disagreement between two faculty or like a few groups, okay? There's a disagreement between them. So, how do you resolve such disagreements without breaking the decorum of the meeting or whatever?
See, it is immaterial who is proposing the idea matters, and whichever idea is in the interest of the system has to be given the what I can say, approval or recommendation. So based on that, it should not be because it is proposed by this team or it is proposed by this team, but its implications on the system, whichever is in the interest of the system is to be chosen, and with making that message more clear should be able to help the other team to understand why the other idea is taken up or approved or whatever.
Okay, and I would like to move to a question back based on your answer for this question. As you said, you were HOD and then you moved on to principal. Coming back to the same topic, like what were the hardships you faced during this transition? Like the sudden hardships or sudden challenges that you faced during this transition, and what was your favorite part about this transition from the bottom to this position?
So I have joined I2IT in August 2016, and prior to that 22 years I was with another organization where out of those 22 years almost 15 plus years I handled the position of HOD. Of course, the responsibilities of HOD and principal are quite different, but the best part is that I again consider myself very fortunate to be principal of an institute where the basic ideologies align with my own, and that is again the foundation of honest and ethic policies. So though there may be various difficulties which come across, but because of these two very strong foundation pillars, things can be simplified and we can move ahead.
Right. So based on these two foundation pillars only, I would like to also give you an advice to the students. Now, as engineers, the most common problem faced by us is we lack focus and we lack consistency. So you, as you mentioned that you were like, as you mentioned that one of the qualities that students should have, your expectation towards the students is their hard work, their honesty, their diligence, and more upon the consistency. Above everything, the consistency factor affects their academics or their professional life. So how did you maintain consistency? What was this one goal that always say drove you to like finish the goal, to reach the goal? What is that one thing that always drove you towards your goal? One motivation that you would like to tell the students, because this is an engineering college and there are so many students who have no motivation to do it.
So at different phases, the short-term goals are different. While a student phase, the goals are different. During the career, based on the responsibilities and the goals of the institute, there are short-term goals. But yeah, being persistent is only what we have to continue with. So then and then that goals you can reach. I don't think there is any alternative or shortcut for that.
Exactly. As every motivational speaker ever tells us, there is no shortcut to success.
I am not a motivational speaker.
No, but ma'am, your points are really valid though. Okay, moving on to the last question for today. So as experienced person as you are, and with the diverse journey through various domains that you have had ever since you were a kid, what advice would you like to give the students who are about to enter the professional world? So like we as students, we have no clue about the real world, the professional world, the world outside, the reality, the harsh reality that they always tell us that there's a harsh reality outside, there's a very cruel world outside, there's a very fast world outside. So what is this one genuine advice as a very experienced personality that you would like to give to the students?
First of all, I am happy that there is an awareness amongst the students that the world outside is harsh, because I want the students to know that it is their parents and teachers only who can be considerate to them, and don't expect anybody else to be considerate. So yeah, that is one thing which obviously is indirectly in the question itself. Now, to be able to face the world outside, I think whatever various activities we try to give the platform to the students should help them to make their life better when they step out as working professionals. So the various student associations which we have in the institute, where various activities are organized by the students for the students, I keep saying that. So that helps in their overall personality development. If there is some event which they want to arrange and last minute some resources are not available, they end up doing some alternative arrangements and take the show ahead. So all these small activities contribute in their personality development. The various professional societies which we have on campus of IEEE, ACM, JDSC and so on, give an opportunity to the students to establish a network with the working professionals, with the industry experts, so that they understand the industry requirements and get more clarity on, as you said, the confusions which they have in their minds. So these all platforms, we give them this various opportunities, and the students get a chance to interact with the experts, understand where their interests lie, and then they can take up some vertical of their interest when they step out, because confusion amongst the students is very much obvious. But by interacting with these industry experts through these various platforms, I think that will help them to have better clarity, so that the confused state is slightly reduced. It may not give very clear picture to everybody, but I rather urge on this platform that the student should make use of all these opportunities and not start thinking of their professional careers when they step into or enter their final year, but
before
that.
pre-night.
Yeah.
Very careful insight by ma'am. Students, start preparing for your interviews today itself. Okay, this makes me want to ask, this was the last question, but makes me want to ask one more last thing to you. Ma'am, during your college time, school time, anytime, did you also have like committees back then, like us, like we have in our college, we have ACM, we have ITSA, we have CESA, we have GDSE, we have so many committees which are for the benefits of the children. So, there are students who don't take benefits of such, even after the teachers telling, even after ma'am telling, you guys are not taking part in such committees and you should take make the maximum benefit out of it. So during your time, did you also have such committees, and if yes, which committee were you a part of, like cultural committees or technical committees?
Institute level or department level committees were existing, like the FESA, CESA, the student associations, I mean to say. But of course, the professional society chapters didn't exist. And yes, as I said, over the period, academics have also evolved and they are doing the best possible job in their vertical. So this have given another dimension to the opportunities to the students to make them more skillful and make them more industry ready, I can say.
Okay. So yeah, those were all of the questions and all of the curiosities that from our side. And thank you so much for the podcast, ma'am. It was a very innovative podcast, and I'm really glad for the thankful to the GDSE committee for giving me this opportunity. I would have never otherwise had an opportunity to interact with ma'am, and would never know that ma'am is such a great personality. I'm not bluffing, ma'am. I really am impressed, and I hope along with me, every one of the viewer and each one of the students are taking some values home, some advices home from ma'am, and yeah, please make best use of your college days, college life, and ma'am's advices. Thank you.